Welcome to Organization and Time Management. This is another student success video presented by myself, Raquel Lato, the learning strategist at Algoma University. Here's a picture of me looking a little overexcited, but anyway, I'm pointing to one of my favorite quotes: choose joy. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's challenging, but look around, there's joy everywhere. So my name is Raquel Lato, and I'm a learning strategist and assistive technologist. So what do? Well, I provide academic support. That might be one-on-one help with a specific learning strategy like organization and time management, or reading or studying. It could be taking the form of these videos. I also coordinate our peer tutoring program. Basically, if you're having an academic struggle, I just always tell students, come and see me. We'll have a really good conversation about what's going on, and if it's not me that will help you, I am going to direct you to the person that will. You can email me two ways. You can use the generic learning@algomau.ca, and you can also just email me directly, raquel.lato@algomau.ca. Here's a video. Have a little watch. Hi, it's Raquel from the Learning Center again. This is my second student success video, and it's on organization and time management. These are two really important skills that you need to develop to be a successful university student. You're going to be in class about 15 hours a week, unless you have labs that take up some extra time. And sometimes it feels like you've got a lot of free time, but you need to manage that time and organize that time so that you can get everything done that you need to and still have lots of time for yourself. So this video is going to talk about how to organize a semester, a week, a day, and also just some general strategies to make you more efficient and effective. The goal is that you're successful at university and doing well, but you're also successful at life. You have time to go to the gym, hang out with friends, have a part-time job, whatever else that you like to do. You still have to be you. So I really hope that you find your balance, that you really balance school and the life that you need to lead. So this video is going to help. So let's go. Let's learn about organization and time management. All right, so where do I begin? Organization does not just happen. You have to make it happen. It takes consistent work and effort. So what do we look at university in terms of organization? We look at three things: semester planning, weekly planning, and daily planning. These are really important to do so that, one, you get a big picture view of your semester. Your weekly plan is when you're actually doing your schoolwork, what's happening sort of day to day, and then the daily is, what am I actually doing today? And this is where the specifics happen. Like, I'm going to read half of chapter 12. I'm going to research and find one article. So let's get a little bit more detailed about these three types of planning. This is where I'm going to spend the bulk of this workshop. So 3 types of planning. The first is the semester planning. So semester planning should happen in your first week of class. You're going to get a course outline or a syllabus. It might be handed to you if you're an in-person class, you might get a paper copy, or it's just going to be posted on your LMS. The course outline should record everything that you are doing for the semester to get a grade. So for example, it will say, I'll make it really easy, test 1 worth 30%, test 2 worth 30%, final exam worth 40%. It could be that you have quite a few things due, like a computer science class. You're going to have quizzes, you're going to have midterms, but you're also going to have projects and assignments. So it does vary greatly from class to class. But what you're going to do is you're going to go through every course outline, and you're going to record every due date that you have for the whole semester for every course. I recommend using just a blank calendar. You can just download a blank monthly calendar that you can then print and then actually put up on the wall so you can see it every day. If you don't want to do that, you can use your Google Calendar, your phone calendar. But the important thing to remember is you have to go back and look at it. That's why I actually like printing it out and putting it up. Are there crunch times? So let's be real, profs don't talk to each other. So your sociology prof is not saying to your psychology prof, hey, when are you giving the midterm? Oh, okay, I'll do it next week. No. So you end up with crunch times where you have multiple things due around the same period of time for multiple classes. So you might have 2 midterms in the same day. You might have, a midterm due one day, the next day a group presentation plus a research assignment has to be handed in. So that's a crunch time. And you can't see that until you plan out the semester and look at how every course impacts every other course. But you're also going to have a week here and there where you have nothing due at all, which is great because it gives you a time to get caught up. Now, your weekly planning. Look at your week as a whole. So one, you have dedicated class time. Whether you're online classes, whether they're in-person classes, if you're in science, you have the additional labs. Computer science has additional labs. So you actually have time allotted for school, but that's not your schoolwork. If, however, you do have an online class that you can kind of do whenever you want, I suggest setting a time every week where you commit to it like a regular class time. I'm going to do this every Thursday at 2:00, for example. It just makes things so much easier. Are you going to have a part-time job? Put those hours into your weekly calendar. I don't have it on here, but are you a varsity athlete? You also have to include time for practice and games. Do you have other commitments every week that are really important to you that you're not going to miss? So that becomes your weekly schedule. Then you have what I call the blank space. The blank space is what you didn't fill in. So it's not your set class time. It's not your work hours. It's not your time in the gym. It's the time now where you have to fill in for school. So those blank spaces are going to become your schoolwork time. It's a great idea to think of your weekly schedule as something that is consistent from week to week. So every Monday morning, I work on this class. Every Wednesday afternoon, I work on this class. Because when we set a routine for ourselves and stick to it, it actually becomes easier every week to stick to it. Now, your daily planning. So these are the things you need to do each day, which are based on the deadlines from your semester calendar. So in your semester calendar, for example, it said that you have a midterm coming up in 6 days. So you're going to start studying now. You're going to spread it out over 6 days. So part of your daily schedule will be things like, today I study chapter 2. Tomorrow I study chapter 3. And so on. So you'll break it out day after day. You're also going to look at what your reading schedule is. You should be doing reading every week to support your classes. So that needs to be in your daily schedule, right? Today I'm going to do this reading for this class. Tomorrow I'm doing this reading, and so on. The best approach here is shorter work sessions over a longer period of time. So if you were going to study for 12 hours for a midterm, and I'm not saying 12 hours is the right number, I'm using it because the math is easy. You could study 12 hours the day before, but that means you cannot do any work on any other class. But what if it's a crunch time and you have to? You could study 2 days before, 6 hours and 6 hours. Or 3 days before, 4, 4, 4. But the best approach is to actually start studying 6 days before, but only do 2 hours a day. Why? Because it's not overwhelming. And you have lots of time to do work on other classes. University is not so nicely aligned that you get to only work on one thing at once. And that goes back to your semester calendar. You're going to have times where you have to juggle 2 or 3 assignments for 2 or 3 classes at once. So semester planning first, weekly planning next, daily planning. You have to keep working on this all the time. That goes back to what I said at the beginning. Organization just doesn't happen. So University is your job. Now, you may be juggling this with another job, but if you were to work Monday to Friday, like sort of 9-ish to 6-ish with breaks, you get a decent lunch break, some coffee breaks, but basically kind of like a job, you could have your nights and your weekends free. That would give you more than enough time for school. And then that gives you time to do what you want to do. And I know that this really works because this is the approach I followed at university, even though nobody told me this. I liked to be very social at university. I was actually a big partier. I'm not going to lie about that. And the fun stuff for me happened on the evenings and the weekends. So I really utilized my days. Monday to Friday, during the day, I was in the library, working hard, focusing, getting my schoolwork done. So if anything fun came up in the evening, I didn't have to say no. So that was my motivation, but I can tell you from my own experience that it worked really well for me. Now, actually getting the work done. Over on the side, I've written in green, set yourself up for success. So some of these questions, we want to think about the best answers for you, which will help you be successful. So your daily to-do list is what you need to do today. And it's probably going to have things from a bunch of classes if you've started everything early and organized them out. But when you are thinking about how to actually do this in a day, when are you mentally at your best, and work with that? I am much better for mental schoolwork in the mornings. I do sort of petter out as the day goes on, and late afternoon for me is my absolute worst time. So if I know I'm mentally at my best in the morning and I have to study for a midterm and it's a class that's challenging for me, I need to do that when I am at my best because that gives me the best chance of success. I cannot push it off and say at 4 o'clock, I'll study for the midterm because that's my worst time of day. That's setting myself up for failure. The next question is, where is the best place for you to work? The truth is, and I know you don't want to hear this, but it's true. You need to be working in a distraction-free environment. University is hard and it takes significant mental focus and mental lifting. So you need to give it your all. To set yourself up for success, you need to be in a place that benefits you. When I went to university, I lived in residence. I am very social. Those of you that have ever met me know this. I love to talk and visit and chat and meet people. So staying in my residence room for me to get my schoolwork done was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I got nothing done. I visited with everybody I could find. I chatted and it was terrible. So I learned for myself very quickly that I was not setting myself up for success by trying to stay in residence. So I had to haul myself off to the library, isolate myself, and then I could really focus, get it done. And then when I went back to residence, my work was done. So then I could be chatting and visiting and going out and doing whatever I want with no guilt. So think about these things to help you be successful. And you've got to eliminate the distractions. You need to focus on what you're doing. You can be super organized with a great list. And if you allow yourself to be distracted all over the place, all you're going to do the next day is rewrite that same list over again because you got nothing accomplished. I used to wonder how other students got so much done. Now that I'm using a planner, I wonder how I settled for doing so little. Here's the truth. You got enough time. There's time for school. There's time for a part-time job. There's time to work out every day. You have enough time to do it all, and really to do it all well. But in order to do that, you have to commit to being organized. You have to commit to being focused when you're doing your schoolwork and making the most of the time that you have. But you really do have enough time. It's all about finding your balance. Balancing school with everything else that you need to do. Now, if you're struggling with getting yourself organized, creating your own plan, anything like that, I'm always here to help you. We can meet one-on-one. So you can send me an email we can meet online, or if we're able, we can meet physically in my office. And we're going to go through what you've got going on in your life, and we're going to create a plan that will help you succeed. Okay? So send me an email if you need it. Thanks for listening, and I wish you great success at becoming and staying organized. You can do it.